So you want to make money in crypto, but you don't know where to start. In this video, it's going to be a chill chat where I'm going to share with you some of the experiences that I've had, some of the successes and some of the failures over the past 4 years that have allowed me to get to this position. If you're new here, my name is Tyrell and I make money online and invest the profits into risky things like stocks and obviously crypto. Now I managed to do this by using things like e-commerce. Yeah, all those drop shipping things you see online, they really do work, right? I really did it. And I also coach people how to do it as well. In fact, one of my students just got a 2 comma club award. That's where you get like basically 2 commas, right? You make $1 million online. And I helped him make 6 figures in 30 days doing e-commerce. So it works, it's not saturated. I don't have a course for it, so I'm not here to sell you on it, but it really does work. The only problem is that you need money. That's why I used to do Facebook ads. So I do Facebook ads for other people. I also did social media management, and I also just got a job. You know, so much stress can be saved by just lowering your ego and getting a job. I've done dishwashing and washed pots. I've applied for Amazon. I used to work in a restaurant, and I literally tried everything. At the end of the day, if you just get that little bit extra cash, it can save you so much headache and stress by just having that little bumper there, which it works. You know, the problem is that most people make money, and then because they've got broke habits, they just spend it. And I spent a lot of time going paycheck to paycheck. In fact, even when I hit 6 figures, I was still paycheck to paycheck. And I was scratching my head like, why is this happening? And I realized it wasn't the money which was a problem. It was my broke habits which had kept me broke. Because even once I started making more, I was spending the same. And you see so many people have these problems. That's why athletes go broke. That's why lottery winners go broke. So it's important that when I reveal these mistakes to you later on, you remember that crypto isn't this get rich quick scheme, right? It's not something which you put money into and it magically something happens, right? It's actual genuine investment into real technology. Now, is all this technology real? No. Does it last longer than 5 years? No. But if you look in the venture capital world, that's normal, right? If you go over to Silicon Valley, 80% of these projects fail. $1 billion investment funds, and these guys have huge teams, huge salaries. They've got quant trading firms. You know what quant is? That's those computers that go crazy, and still 80% of their projects fail. So imagine you, a new person in the game, investing on your Coinbase app, thinking that you're going to get rich and wondering what's going on. It's completely normal, right? You can see even at the highest level, they still fail. So the easiest thing for you to do right now is, if you're not making money, make some. I've got free courses. My business partner is just releasing a course online to show people how to make money on Upwork completely for free with no affiliate links. And there's so much information out there. So all you have to do is remove your broke habits, start making money, maybe lower that ego, focus on one thing. Even Ray Dalio, the billionaire investor, says singularity of focus, right? Focus on one thing and you'll do it. 100% you'll do it. There's enough money in the world to do so. Before you jump to crypto, please just make a bit of money. Now, that was one of actually my biggest mistakes, because I actually started crypto in 2017. And when I started this, I just invested $100 and I thought I was going to get rich. I sat there, I put my $100 into Ethereum, and I'm sat there ready for my life to change. And what I realized was nothing happened, because I wasn't doing my due diligence into projects. I just invested something that some random person said. I wasn't dollar cost averaging. I wasn't like consistently moving my money into one thing. And I was sat there hoping and praying to get rich. Now, I should have just spent $100 on lottery tickets, right? It's pretty much the same thing. And what ended up happening is 2017 all the way to 2020, I actually stopped doing crypto completely and I focused on my businesses. Now, I tried Amazon FBA. It didn't work, right? It was a bit too expensive for me at the time. I was genuinely completely broke. I tried affiliate marketing. And the thing is with affiliate marketing is it wasn't as easy as it is today. Today it's actually not that bad. You can do Tate University. You can do, there's some other ones. I think this Hamza guy, I don't really follow his influence, but I think this Hamza guy's got an affiliate. They're okay. The only thing is that when you're doing affiliate marketing, you're just building somebody else's business. Right? You really have to deep that. You're building somebody else's business for such a minute cut that you're not learning any core skills, right? For example, if you do, I don't want to say it too many times, but if you do that HU situation, right, with the affiliate, what's going to happen is you're just reposting that guy's content. You're not learning about how to build a website. You're not learning about the actual delivery that he's doing, right? Because you might put up a clip and it might go viral, but do you really know why it's viral? Yeah, it was a bit controversial, but do you really understand why it's viral? That's the things that you have to question yourself at. And, you know, if you look up Hormozi says it all the time. Hook, retain, reward, right? That's why if you stay in this video towards the end, I'm going to give you some websites and some materials where you can actually take action on this, right? Hooked you in with the mistakes, retaining you right now. I'm going to reward you towards the end. But you won't know that if you're just posting clips online as some sort of, you know, affiliate, okay, to put it blunt. So that didn't work for me. At the time, I was doing an affiliate called Builderall. If you guys don't know what Builderall was, I don't even know if it's still even out anymore, but it was kind of like this website, and everybody said, this affiliate guy on YouTube, he was like, oh, if you do this and you DM people, all these things, you'll make loads of money. So I was like, cool, you know, I'll give it a go. And obviously didn't work, right? Builderall was actually quite crap and there was no substance to it. Nowadays, you know, there's a lot more actual good stuff to be affiliates too. But in my opinion, you do affiliates when you're at the stage where I'm at now, right? If I can, you know, provide you with value and do certain things and build up a platform, it makes sense to go and drop an affiliate. It doesn't actually make sense to build your whole business on that, because what about if that affiliate goes away, right? Now you're a slave to the system. You have to chase different ones. You end up, you know, kind of being a bitch to the algorithm, basically, which isn't really what you want to do. You want to leverage trends, of course, but you don't want to be a slave to the system, right? It depends. You know, me personally, I prefer freedom. I enjoy being free. So, and when I failed at those three things, okay, I moved on and I started Facebook ads, right? And learning how to do Facebook ads. I bought courses, watched YouTube videos. I tried it on some of my old e-commerce stores as well. And I kind of mixed them together. I was doing drop shipping for a little bit, and also I was doing Facebook ads. And then what I ended up doing is I realized that why dig for gold when I can sell shovels, right? Scaling my business with Facebook ads might be a bit hard for me right now, right? My bank account didn't have the best one, right? I didn't even have much money in cash flow, even though I was making a few grand a month. What I needed to do was take the skills that I learned and work it for somebody else. So I took the skills I had, right? Facebook ads, social media marketing, a little bit of Shopify drop shipping, and I went and I made a freelancer profile on Upwork. Hooray. That's why I coach Upwork as the first skill to get when you're making money online to invest the profits, because it was just the thing that saved me. Now I used that for a few years through 2017 to 2020 to make enough money to start to actually invest. And I skipped a lot of the chunk of the story. There's so many failures. There's so much messing up. I bought courses. I bought mentorship, right? That's why you see me in interviews with Iman Gaji. I spent money on his course. I spent money on Jordan Platten's course. Spent money on Ryan Ramshaw's course, who's now my business partner. I invested in mindset mentorship with John Gab. And there was look, that's like 15 grand worth of courses just there, right? So I really was putting my money in, right? And reinvesting it. If I hit 2 grand a month, I'd reinvest it. If I hit 3 grand, I'd reinvest it. And, you know, eventually I realized it's not the information, it's the mindset. And that's why I invested in mindset too. And that brings me to 2020, right? In 2020, I partnered with the Ecom King. You might see him on YouTube. He's a super cool guy. And we're still friends to this day. And what ended up happening was I used all the skills and lessons I learned from my own business and the e-commerce profits and all that good stuff. And I moved that over to mentorship. So it's a very key point there. Okay, and we're going to get even closer to a lot of these pure crypto things, because this is the most important. I moved my experience and then I monetized it. I see so many of these kids online nowadays wanting to be coaches and mentors when they've got no experience. And I even see coaches coaching coaches without any experience. It's crazy. It's literally the blind leading the blind. And this isn't good, right? It's the exact same reason why the property market collapsed when it was doing those false bonds, right? It's because you're stacking false stuff on false stuff on false stuff and revaluing it, but eventually it all collapses. And this will be the same in the e-commerce world, right? If you understand about pendulums and reality transurfing, it always has to come back. Energy always has to come back, and eventually it will crash. Now, I ended up taking this experience. I did it the right way, even though it was longer. It took, what, 3 years, but you've seen, right? In just, it's almost 5 years now, but in just 4 or 5 years, right, you've seen millionaire fast. But it wasn't. It was kind of like being in the dark. It's kind of like the way bamboo works, right? I was working in the dark, and then, but that's all because I had the right foundations, right? Even now, another one of my mistakes is when I was working on these businesses and these crypto ventures, and I'll explain shortly, but I ended up leaving a lot of these other things behind. And what I should have done is carried them with me and used them with me. I kind of jumped from what I was doing and I jumped straight into crypto, which isn't actually a wise idea, right? And I'll explain the lessons and stuff like that later. But again, 2020, right? Right now we're in 2023. Okay, so I did 17 crypto, 18, 19, 20 working on my own businesses, right? And then 2020, guess what? I come into the crypto market, right? I'm helping my business partner at the time manage his portfolio, and I start investing, not $500, not $1,000, not $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I put $10,000 to $20,000 a month into crypto. Now that's not a lot of money, but when you're broke, that's a lot of money. That's the yearly salary every month that I'm putting into the crypto market in 2020. Now you guys know what happened. The DeFi boom happens. The pancake swap boom happens. That's where Luke Belmar made a lot of his money from too, right? Similar thing, came from Shopify dropshipping, right? You also see the private sale boom happen and the launchpad boom happen. And what was happening was I was putting 20 grand into these projects and the projects were 10x in a day, right? Or 2 days. No joke, right? You put 20 grand into something, you got 200 grand, right? Mind blown. Because for me to make 10 grand, it's not actually that easy at the time, right? I had to sit there and I would work my arse off, right? Not playing computer games, not procrastinating, not blaming the world on my failures. I would get up and I would force life to work for me. I would bend my own reality and shape life how I wanted it to be. And I really would work. And then for me to see that my money had just increased that much and I could literally just sell it. I didn't have to ring up a bank. I didn't have to wait for anybody else's permission. My payments wasn't getting put on hold. I didn't have to worry about PayPal. I didn't have to worry about Facebook banning my account. And instantly, it's up 180 grand profit. It completely changed my perspective on crypto. And I actually got quite addicted to it, right? Me personally, I always look for leverage opportunities, right? You see a lot of wealthy people talk about leverage. Now, one of my biggest mistakes was when I would see a more leverage opportunity, it wouldn't even be shiny object syndrome. It would be the point where I'll be looking and I'll go, okay, how can I use my skills better? Right? So shiny object syndrome, in my opinion, is when you jump from one business model to a different business model to a different one without building any skills, right? Because you don't want to approach that failure. You fear the jump. It's kind of when you walk up to a cliff, you look down and you're like, this is a lot bigger than I thought. That's exactly what it's like facing your fears for business. You don't want to take the sales calls, so what do? Right? You self-sabotage, you start another business or you start another outreach method. Right? Some other guy says it's much easier and you see that as a reconfirmation of your beliefs. You're like, yeah, it's much easier if I go and do this. So you jump away and you do that. Right? And you can spend years in this time loop not realizing that you was just avoiding the fear of failure, or maybe you were self-sabotaging and working against yourself without actually realizing, until you hit that moment and you get that acceptance where you're like, right, I kind of went wrong here. Okay, so I spent a lot of time actually trying to reverse engineer that and think, okay, use my skills. It got me to the point where I'm making 10, 20 grand a month. Then I invest into crypto at pretty much the perfect time. A lot of money, which most people in that stage, I meet a lot of agency owners and they're proper pessimistic, like that. They've still got a broke mindset. They don't want to risk it. They work so hard to make the money, but then they don't want to let the money work for them. So they end up saving the money. They'll rather buy a watch. They'd rather buy a car, and these things are great, right? But your watch ain't going to do a 10x. Car's not going to do a 10x. So when you're looking at your mentors that are making so much money, you're thinking, why can't I keep up with them? Well, they're letting their money work for them, right? Whether that's in stocks, bonds, real estate, or something, they're letting their money compound, right? But your money isn't compounding and working for you in a watch, unless you're getting out of retail or something like that. But even then, if you're getting your watches at retail, you can't really sell them. You're going to mess up your reputation, right? And it's very hard to even do that. It's much easier, in my opinion, to just invest into crypto, do some, off-plan property or something like that, and just let your money work for you, okay? Now, when I hit this point, right, circling back to the leverage, I would hit this point of leverage where it's like kind of this tipping point where I jump over into another business, let's say crypto, and then I would start to build and use my skills inside of crypto, right? And what would end up happening is when I work in my crypto, everything like that goes up, but my other businesses go down, right? This was because at this stage, I was doing a lot of heavy lifting. I was doing mentorship, right? And if I was going to work in the crypto space, I wouldn't be able to take as many mentorship calls. So my mentorship money will go down, my crypto money will go up. But what ends up happening is when the crypto market goes down, but then you still have to end up rebuilding your actual mentorship, for example, right? Or even if it's e-commerce, even if you're a drop shipper, right? You move your attention away from your drop shipping store, eventually it starts to deteriorate. Even if you hire a CEO, even if you do all of these things, eventually it will start to deteriorate just because your time and attention isn't there. Especially as a new business owner, you might not know how to incentivize your employees, how to build a proper team, and your team might not even be experienced to deal with the fluctuations of dealing with suppliers, of advertising spend, of email flows not working, of customer complaints, right, which you would know. So when you see it, you just look at it. For you, it's easy. But for them, it's a whole week issue, right? And that's what happens, right? I jumped over into another space. I moved over into the crypto space, and my attention moved, right? And wherever your attention goes, energy flows. And it moved away. And what happened is the energy started to flow off here. So even though I left with a lot more money, I left with a lot less cash flow, right? And for me, I know that cash flow is king. So it came to the bear market, and I'm sat there scratching my head. I'm like, okay, where's the cash flow at? Where's the cash flow at? I did the right thing in my communities, the right thing in my groups. I stopped charging for all my crypto communities. I didn't want to take money from people that are already down. Especially when the market's down. I can't sell for people. I can't manage their portfolios. I can't fucking hold their hands, right? But when it comes down to it, I don't want to start poking at the wound, right? Digging in the wound. So I was like, I'm not going to charge. And then I was sat down, and I'm sat back, and I'm like, okay, no cash flow. Interesting, right? Right? So now I have to go back and build. So I had to move my attention away. Obviously, start building my audience. I started my YouTube channel again. Instagram, started doing my Instagram stuff again. Snapchat, I started to post more value and more mindset, less crypto stuff. Snapchat, started to build up more of a brand, more cash flow assets, and invest heavily into them as well to kind of build them up. Now, that was number one mistake, right? Attention goes, energy flows, right? You guys write this down. Attention goes, energy flows. I don't want to let this run for too long. I'm going to try to keep it at 20 minutes. Now, you can see that following this path was amazing, right? Because I had a singularity focus, and in 4 years, I managed to become a multi-million-dollar net worth, build up assets, brush shoulders with millionaires, travel around the world, live the life of my complete dreams, and surpass most of my peers in an instant. But what's the next thing you kind of forget when you're not focusing on that? Health. I didn't spend no time working out, and I became a fat boy, right? I became a fat boy for real, right? And the reason was I was putting so much time and effort into building things. I've got so much of a passion for business, and I genuinely enjoy it. For me, it's like a game that I would move my attention away from my health, and I would take short-term, sacrifices, but it would cause long-term problems because I would move my attention away from caring about my body to worrying about going to that next meeting or being on the next sales call or going on a night out to network, right? These things just didn't really make sense to me now, but before it was like, okay, if I do this, I'm going to make another few mil, and then that few mil, I'll put that towards that, and it's a worthy sacrifice. But to be fair, when I look back and I reflect, it didn't really mean nothing. Missing that meeting, nobody would have really cared. Nobody actually would have been bothered if I just took the time to miss the meeting and work out and come 30 minutes late. Or the networking event, I'll just wake up a little bit earlier and work out. You know, it was actually me doing exactly the same thing, in which I say to you guys, when you go to that business, right? You're fearing the failure of looking over the cliff and thinking, no. And you start patching it and justifying these types of things with other things. I did the same thing with the gym, right? And I love the gym, but I was justifying not going to the gym and putting in hard work, effort, sacrifice, sweat, and tears, right? Because I was justifying it with, oh no, I'll do it another time. You know, if I do this, I'm going to make money, right? Justification. So reflect and think, how many times have you justified things? How many times have you justified not doing that thing, right? Because realistically, you don't want to say it, but you're a little bit afraid of something, right? And that's okay. What you need to know is that success is built outside of your comfort zone, right? When you're outside of your comfort zone, that's when you're working hard. That's when you build. That's when you grow. Muscles don't grow, right, unless they break, unless they shred, unless they tear, right? You won't grow unless you work hard, unless you make sacrifices, unless you be disciplined. You just won't grow. You don't grow inside of your comfort zone. Doesn't matter how much money you're making right now, eventually you're going to be put to the test, and if you ain't ready, you're going to fail, right? Simple as that. That's just how the world works, right? It works. It doesn't matter whether you're 6 figures, 7 figures, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? It doesn't even matter, right? Billionaires go bankrupt all the time. Multi-billionaires go bankrupt all the time. So it's clearly not a money problem, right? Now, those were the lessons. I'm going to keep this one short. If you enjoy this type of rant, if you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like, leave a comment. Those were my mistakes in crypto. You know, I wasn't staying focused on some of my other businesses, okay? I also tried to invest too early. I wasn't making much money when I first got started, and I jumped straight into it with a few $100s, and I thought I was going to change everything, and I spent all my time trying to trade and following courses and information, thinking that I'm learning something. I'm thinking that it's going to get me out of the hood, but really it wasn't. That was just because I was avoiding starting my own business, you know, going on sales calls, getting outside my comfort zone, doing content. I thought, you know, I can get rich behind the scenes. And yes, of course you can, but it's going to take a lot more time, and you're going to need to be a savant trading $100 to $1 million, in which if you can do that, you may as well just go raise $1 billion and do that with $1 billion, because you, my friend, are a savant if you can trade $100 to multi-million-dollars without any affiliate links, courses, programs, anything, right? Most people that say to do these things have courses, programs, mentorship, affiliate links, right? Normal, completely fine, right? But the end person doesn't realize that that's what's going on, okay? So those are my mistakes. I don't want to go on too many rants. I kind of like to put a lot of information in one video, but there's a lot of information there. Save this video, listen to it a few times. I've reduced the amount of times I do my TIES talks just to allow people to listen to them a few times, soak up the information, and actually take up some value. My intentions and my goals coming for the month, as it is October, is I'm going to be simplifying a lot of my content, a lot of my production. I got rid of the side hustle club. I got rid of all the communities because my attention was all over the place, and I like to be very hands-on in my businesses. So I've moved that. I'm starting to become hands-off in all my businesses, and I'm making everything smooth, sharp, and simple. And I recommend you guys do the same. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name's Tyrell. I show you how to make money online and invest the profits. So subscribe if you want to learn how to do so too. And most importantly, stay disciplined, stay focused, and take this energy, transurf it, right, and invest it into yourself. Thank you very much. See you in the next one. Peace.